everyone, how are you? I've just been working on making this top. What do you think? I was just thinking it might be nice to go with a pair of shorts in the summer. What do you think? I've been cutting out another one. I'm not sure what it would be like. Please leave a comment down below and let me know what you think would be good. Maybe we should put some embellishments on it. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. See you all later. Goodbye. Okay, so I've got my pattern all cut out. Your pattern will be in the description below. I'm just going to pop it onto my piece of fabric. Now this is a fat quarter of fabric which I folded in half, and you should be able to get all your pieces onto this and have enough left to make some sort of hair embellishment as well. So you put that one on there. You need to have your front on that very fold in the middle, and then you want to have your front lining on that fold in the middle as well. Now if you just want to use this fabric, you can get away with half of a fat quarter, because that will sit on there, and you can, as you can see, that would be half your fat quarter, so you could use that. And for your lining material you could just use some like an old sheet or something like that, or anything you wanted. But I'm going to make mine using this, and we're still going to have quite a lot of fabric left at the top, so we should be able to have enough to make something with there. So I'm just going to pin this in place. So you've got your piece of fabric and you've got your middle fold in it like so. Just going to open it out. So this is your middle fold here, so this is going to be the center of it. And what you want to do is take this piece and line it up so that that top piece is touching there. And you want to bring it down so that that piece is folded over it just like that. So you've got your pointy bit here, where that point is. You want to fold that point in half, come from your center and bring that up so that it touches that very top there like that. So it's in line with that, and then bring that down to your center until you get a nice flat bottom. And the way to do that is just to wiggle it. Okay, so you've got that piece and it's sat on that center line all the way down like that, and then just take your iron, so you've got it just like that sitting there. That touches that piece there on that line there, touches on that line there, and then that line on the bottom is nice and straight across the bottom, and then just run your iron down it. Okay, nice and straight. Okay, and then turn it the other side and do exactly the same. You've got your point there, and you want to pull this fabric around until that point is touching that up onto there, and you've got a piece of fabric which sits inside there, so it's looking like that inside. Okay, pull that around, get that nice and flat on the bottom. Get that nice and laying exactly as it should be here on the top, so it looks like as if it's actually in that neckline. Just like that. Just don't be afraid to just wiggle it until you get it absolutely right. You should be able to get it so it's laying nice on that line there. Pull that around, pull that up and around, and there you go. That's pretty much it. I think that's okay. Do just a tiny bit more down there. Right, that's laying nicely now. I'm happy with that. Okay, and then just press that down. So those two bits there should sort of just about lay just underneath where those two bits are. There and there. Okay. So you've got that. Then the next one you want to do is to take this point here, and you want to get that point so it's sat nicely on that shirt piece. And you can bring that in and you can lay that so that's laying just perfectly on there, and get that so that that bottom is lining up nicely and flat. You want this fold here to touch the edge of that fold there. Okay. And that should line up really nicely. Make sure that's lining on both pieces. You don't want that one coming over. You want it to touch on the edge. Okay. So that's the end of my fold there, okay, and it needs to be so it's sitting right on the very edge of that fold there, and the same with that one. So you if you put your finger down here, you should be able to find the end of that fold there. Okay, that's it, there you go. Right, and then just iron that over. Do the same again on the other side. Take that point, fold it over and bring it around until it's touching up there, and then pull this all the way in and get that so that that edge there, that folded piece under, is sitting right on the edge of that folded piece there. Okay. Just takes a second to wiggle it around and get it straight in there. There you go, that's in there now. And then just make sure that lays flat at the same time as that is laying flat. So it's just got a few bits to wiggle with. Okay. Yeah. Put pins in it to it if you want to, but I've not found that it needed it. There we go. Okay, and then just run your iron down over that. I should have a nice piece which is sitting nicely just like that. Okay, if you find, can you see it looks like I've got a little bit more on this side than I do on that side. Let's have a quick peep. That one has just got just over a centimetre. That one's just under a centimetre. Just pull that one out a little bit more. Okay, and just run over it again. Just pull it a tiny bit more. That's better. Can you see I got that curved in there? That's it. And then just run over that again. Alright. And then I found that was easier than trying to follow the lines. I'll put the lines on. If you think that you want to use the lines and try and do it that way, do it that way, okay? But I just found it was a little bit difficult. And turned under again. Okay. Right, so there you go. So that's how you do the ironing bit on it. That is the most complicated bit, and there's nothing else. Everything else now is simple. Okay, so that is the front of your top with all the folds in it. What we're going to do now is we're going to put a line of basting just around this very top bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin each piece separately down so that they've got it like that, and we're just going to hold that in place with a little bit of basting stitch around the top. So I'm just going to come and do this, and I'm going to do it on, can you see I've got a 1/4 inch quilter's foot on here. You don't need that, you can just do it on your ordinary foot. Whoops, on your ordinary foot if you want to, but you just want to use one of those lines, and I've got a line on mine here just to make the stitch a bit smaller. You want the smallest you can get. You don't want to go down into that 1/4 inch because we want to do that there. We want it small. We don't want it coming down into our main line because this is just a basting stitch. So can you see when I pinned it, my thing was sticking up like that? I just want to make sure that that is sat absolutely flat against there before I start sewing it. Okay, I'm just going to come and I'm going to place that foot down. There, slip that pin out. I'm just going to move myself up because I want to come less than 1/4 inch on this. I'm going to just do 2 stitches. Don't know why that's did that. Yes, I do. Right, so I'm just going to do 2 stitches, and then I'm going to do 3 back stitches. 1, 2, 3. I think that was more than 3 stitches. And then I'm going to just do a couple of back stitches, and then I'm going to come around very slowly. I don't want these creases to be moved out of the way. I want them to stay as flat as I can possibly get them. So I'm just going to come really slowly, moving my foot around, moving my fabric around, sorry, very, very slowly, just so I'm basting it. And I've got this set on a 4. for my stitch length. So I don't know if you want us to try and do that one. And just do 2 stitches back. There we go. It's just caught it, alright. So you should have a piece which looks like that. Now, if you find when you lift it out that you have a bit which is moved around, just unpick that little bit and just make sure you've got that so it's laying lovely and flat, just like that, okay? So this is your piece all basted and it's all ready to go now. We're going to just carry on and make this very similar to the way we make the bodice for our basic dress. So you should get your 2 pieces. Now your back pieces, as long as they marry up there, that is correct, okay? So put your shoulder seams together and then just pin those in place. Okay, 1. There's the other one, make sure it's the right one. I think I've just managed to get mine muddled up. Maybe it might be a good idea to write on them with a piece of tailor's chalk or something which piece is which. And then just pin them along like that. So place your pin in on both shoulders, okay? And do exactly the same. Make sure your lining piece is facing up and your other pieces are facing down. And this is the lining of your outfit, okay? So I've got my piece of fabric right on the very edge of that foot. Whip out my pin. I'm going to just put it in just so it's just in on the fabric, and you're going to do 2 stitches. And then we're going to do 3 stitches back. Okay, and then straight to the end. And I'm going to do 3 stitches back, 2, 3. Okay, and then you can take the next piece of fabric, and without breaking your thread, if you wish to, take it in, lift your foot, move that in out the way, and just place it straight onto that fabric. So it's actually on the fabric, not it's actually sitting on that piece of fabric with that piece on there, okay? And do 2 stitches on, 1, 2, and then do 3 stitches back, 2, 3, okay? And then straight to the end. And then we're going to do 3 stitches back, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you should have your shoulder seams stitched together. Do exactly the same with your lining. So here we have your 2 pieces. We've got your front piece and your lining piece. Just finger press the seams flat, and then just place your lining on top of your top piece. Then take your pins, and you're going to pin from an inch up here, and you're going to pin all the way up around here, around the top here, around this piece and down until you get to an inch from the bottom here, like that, because that's where you're going to stop sewing. And then when you've done that, you're going to take your pins and you're going to pin all the way around this armhole, and you're going to pin all the way around this armhole, exactly as you would do as if you were making the basic dress bodice. So I just wanted to show you when here I wanted to make sure that this front was laying absolutely straight, so I want to make sure I put in a few extra pins just in where those creases are on the front, because I don't want those moving around. Because they're going underneath, I want to make sure they're nice and secure, so I'm just popping some extra pins in along those pleats there, so that each pleat has got a pin in it, just like that. Just make sure when you're doing it that you marry up where your seams are on the shoulders. And then we're going to take this to the sewing machine. So again, I'm going to just make sure that my fabric is on the edge of the foot there, and I'm just going to run this along all the way around the fabric. Stop before you get to the pin. You don't want to go over the pin if you can help it, because that
You see there's a little lump there, so if you can help it, try and get it before you get to that foot. Take that pin out. Take it out nice and close to it, but don't let the pin run underneath the foot, because it just doesn't get that nice flat layer out that you need. Right, now when you come to here, I've got my needle in the down position. I'm just going to come in and stop when I get it sort of on mine. It's just about it as you get to there, but you just need to work it out for yourself. Now this is going to take a little bit more time. We're going to go around nice and slow. Just very slowly moving that fabric as we go, keeping that on that 1/4 of an inch. You don't have to do it quickly, just take your time. See how I'm just gradually turning it? The other thing you want to make sure is that you feel nice and flat underneath there. You've got not got huge bumps or anything. Just make sure that's laying nice and flat. Now, can you see that is a piece of my that is a piece of that where it is coming up, so I'm not worried about that. I'm keeping it to the line here. That is my pleating. Sorry, that's what I should say. That was the pleating. Don't worry too much if that's coming over the top, because that's, as that lays, it does lay just slightly above. You want to keep it onto that line of the actual lining where it's sitting. Let's come around the corner. You should have a nice straight edge now to go down. So just come up here, and I'm going to look for about when it gets to about there, okay, and then I'm going to lift my needle and turn it, put it down again. Keep going. I'm not doing anything there. I'm just going to lift that because we are going to carry on and finish off that later on. And then we're going to just do exactly the same as we've just done all the way around the armholes. So just put your fabric under your needle. Make sure you're just on there. With this one you can do a back stitch. 2, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then keep going, keeping that just on the very edge of that foot. Pin out. Okay, keep going. Just a few back stitches. There we go. Okay, and that's that finished, and do exactly the same on your other arm. So the piece you have should look like this now. Okay, so this will be my front, and this will be my back, and then the line is on the bottom. The thing you want to do now is just to come around and snip right up to that line. Let's see if I can show you a little bit close up. You want it to go up to that, as close to that line as you can possibly get it. Okay, don't go over the line, because if you go over the line you will have a hole. If you do go over the line, just go back to the sewing machine and machine over that piece, keeping it in on the same line of stitches. Okay, just go all the way around. So you want to go around all of your neck here, so all the way around there, all the way around there, and all the way around there. So I've snipped my fabric all the way around, and the next thing we are going to do is we're going to pull everything through the armhole of our top. So we want to do it a little bit at a time and not to rush, and just take it very gently. So I've got some forceps, hospital forceps type thing, and I didn't pay very much. I think I got 2 pairs for about £1.50. You can get them on eBay and whatever, but you just need to put them through the arm. You don't have to use this. You can get like things for pulling seams through and all sorts of things, and you just want to pull it very gently through that hole. It just takes a bit of pulling and manoeuvring to get it to come through, but you will be able to do it. Okay, just take your time and pull gently and it will all come through. Okay, and once you've got a lot of it through, you can start doing it. The only thing you must watch out for is that you're not pulling the bit you're holding on to. Okay, and then pull the rest of that through. So that's the right size there, that's the right side, and then pull the other piece through as well. So you've got it and it looks like this now, okay, and then what we're going to do is just the same as we would do when we're doing that basic top, is we're going to line these 2 lines here up on the 2 side seams, okay. So this is your front and this is your lining here, and you're going to just line them up just like that so they sit together, and you want to put your pin in that fold like that. Now your lining fabric on this one is slightly shorter than your front of your dress, okay, so your front of your top, so you don't want to, it won't marry up exactly. You should have a piece and it should come just underneath like that. So then pop this in and you're going to just pin that all the way down. Okay, and leave a bit of a gap there like that, and do the same with your back. Okay, I'm just going to place that on, making sure I've got that so that that is sitting on the side of the seam. I don't know if you can, I'm trying to get it as best as I can get it for you to see. I'm just going to come along and go straight across. So once you've been around and you've folded it all over to 1/2 inch, you're going to just turn it like that and fold it in once more. So you've got 1/4 inch. You're just going to take that one there, you're going to put it up to the line, and you're just going to fold it in like that so it's touching on that line, just like that. So go all the way around and just do that so you've got it nice and laying flat, it's touching on that line. There you go. I'll do that on both sides. And once you've been around and you've done that, just take it again and fold it over to that first mark you made and sew it around. So I'm just putting my foot so that the needle is reasonably close to this end of the fabric. So I'm just going to take my time, sew around both pieces of hemming, but what I want to make sure to do is leave these 2 pieces where it joins the back to the front so that they're not touching. There we go, so I'm just going to come straight the way around. So now you're going to leave that gap open for a second, and we're going to come over and we're going to do the other side. So just bring it over, fold that piece back under, there, that's it. So keeping it like that, and we're just going to come back over and we're going to stitch straight the way along that the back of the lining material. Done. So we're almost done. We've got this little bit here to do. So this is where we left that inch of fabric, and what we need to do here is we're going to just turn this in once. As you can see, it's already turned in once, and then we're going to just turn it in again just like that, on a very narrow turn. So you've got to turn it in once, and you're going to turn it in once more, just like that, and then just pop your end in like that so it's out of the way. And you're going to stitch right down there, from there to there, and then you're going to turn this piece as well, and you're going to turn that one in once. So this is the back of your lining, and then in again, and you're just going to stitch along there. So I'm just going to pop a pin in it. There's that piece, that's your back of your lining, your inside lining, and this is the front of your top. So you've got it folded in once, and you're just going to fold it in again, pop it in there, do exactly the same on the other side, and then take it to the sewing machine and stitch right across the top there, just like that. I'm going to do 2 stitches on, back stitch, and then we're going to go right the way across. Sorry, let's come from behind maybe. I'm trying to keep my arm out of the way, it's not easy. That's it. And straight across this piece. There we go. And down here, so that you finish that one off. And do a few back stitches. There we go, and that should finish that off nicely on the sides. Do exactly the same on the other side. Then once you've done that, and you've got those 2 pieces laying nice and flat, just go back, and where they join together, just at the very piece where at the edge, I want you to just do 3 or 4 stitches down, do a few back stitches, and then just run down a few more stitches just to hold those 2 pieces at the top together. And that should give you a nice opening there. When there's not all that thread there, obviously that'll lay a lot nicer and neater there along there. I'll just cut off all those ends, and then we'll be lovely and finished. So here is our top. It's almost finished, just the velcro's closing to go on now. So just remember, we've done this loads of times before, but you need to have this one sitting on the inside like that. Just gonna machine it down on both sides like that, but the other one has, so that is going to be on your outside of your top like that. Okay, and that's the outside of the back, and this one is going to go into the inside of the back like that along there. So just pop it in. You can machine down both sides if you like, and then you should have a nice flat piece of velcro sitting on there like that. So I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and sew that up. So here it is, all finished. It's all looking beautiful, really nice. Sorry, a few ends on it. Really nice, all come together really nicely. You can use this as a top with your pattern, but if you did want to extend it, what you can do is just add extra fabric on all of your layers. Just make sure that you have your little bit at the back slightly shorter for your lining, okay, and then you'll get a really nice finish on that, and that makes a really pretty dress. So if you sort of bring a fabric down here, you can just do that and carry on just doing that. Just pull your sides out just a tiny weeny bit just to give you that sort of shape, but you don't, not very much. You wouldn't need to. You'd only probably have to come out to about there sort of thing, and you'd have a little dress. Okay, so there it is. So I hope you enjoyed that.
So there it was. Did you enjoy it? I hope you did. Please comment down below and let me know what you would like me to do. Put on some embellishments onto it or just leave it plain. I hope you'll come again, and don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.